Hey Wolfpack, here is the latest bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. Toronto, Canada. Professor Maurice of McGill University reports observing a total of 3 explosions on the planet Mars between the hours of 7:45 p.m. and 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This confirms earlier reports received from American observatories. Now comes a special announcement from Truex campus. It is reported that at 8:50 p.m., a huge flaming object, believed to be a meteorite, fell on the overflow parking lot 22 miles from Truex, give or take a little. The flash in the sky was visible within a radius of several hundred miles, and the noise of the impact was heard as far north as Fond du Lac. We have sent a special mobile unit to the scene and will have our commentator Carla Phillips give you a word description as soon as she can reach there from Truex. Somebody buy that girl a golf cart. In the meantime, we take you to the Wolfpack where it's karaoke day? We now take you to the Truex Overflow parking lot.
Hey Wolfpack, this is Carla Phillips again at the Overflow parking lot. Professor Pierson and myself made the 11 miles, give or take a little, from his office in 10 minutes. Well, I hardly know where to begin to paint for you a picture of the strange scene before my eyes, like something out of a modern Arabian Nights. Well, I just got here. I haven't had a chance to look around yet. I guess that's it. Yes, I guess that's the thing directly in front of me, half buried in a vast pit. Must have struck with terrific force. The ground is covered with splinters of a tree. It must have struck on its way down. What I can see of the object itself doesn't look very much like a meteor, at least not the meteors I've seen in the movies. It looks more like a huge cylinder. It has a diameter of, what would you say, Professor Pierson?
What's that?
What would you say? What is the diameter?
About 30 yards.
About 30 yards. The metal on the sheath is, well, I've never seen anything like it. The color is sort of yellowish white. Curious spectators now are pressing close to the object in spite of the efforts of the police to keep them back. They're getting in front of my line of vision. Would you mind standing to one side, please?
One side there. One side.
Well, the police officers are pushing the crowd back. Here's Mr. Wilmuth, owner of the car here. He may have some interesting facts to add. Mr. Wilmuth, would you please tell the radio audience as much as you remember of this rather unusual visitor that dropped in our backyard? Step closer, please. Listeners, this is Mr. Wilmuth.
Well, I was listening to the radio in my car.
Closer and louder, please.
Pardon me?
Louder, please, and closer.
Yeah, well, I was listening to the radio and kind of drowsing, because I don't have class for an hour, and that professor fellow was talking about Mars, so I was half dozing and half...
Yes, Mr. Wilmuth. Then, what happened?
As I was saying, I was listening to the radio kind of halfway.
Yes, Mr. Wilmuth, and then you saw something?
Not first off, I heard something.
And what did you hear?
A hissing sound, like this. Kind of like a bottle rocket on the 4th of July.
Then what?
Turned my head out the window and would have swore I was asleep and dreaming.
Yes?
I seen a kind of greenish streak and then a BAM! Something smacked the ground. Knocked me clear out of my car.
Well, were you frightened, Mr. Wilmuth?
Well, I ain't quite sure. I reckon I was kind of riled. My Saturn is totaled and I just replaced the brakes on that thing.
Thank you, Mr. Wilmuth. Thank you.
Want me to tell you some more?
No, that's quite all right. That's plenty. Wolfpack, you've just heard Mr. Wilmuth, owner of the car parked near where this thing has fallen. I wish I could convey the atmosphere, the background of this fantastic scene. Hundreds of cars are parked all around us. Police are trying to rope off the Strommen street leading to the parking lot, but it's no use. They're breaking right through to the pit where this object's half buried. Some of the more daring souls are now venturing near the edge. Their silhouettes stand out against the metal sheen. One man wants to touch the thing. He's having an argument with a public safety officer. The officer wins. Now, there's something I haven't mentioned in all this excitement, but it's becoming more distant. Perhaps you've caught it already on your radio. Listen. Do you hear it? It's a curious humming sound that seems to come from inside the object. I'll move the mic nearer. Now, we're not more than 25 feet away. Can you hear it? Oh, Professor Pierson.
Yes, Carla?
Can you tell us the meaning of that scraping noise inside the thing?
Possibly the unequal cooling of its surface.
I see. Do you still think it's a meteor, Professor?
I don't know what to think. The metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial, not found on this Earth. Friction with the Earth's atmosphere usually tears the holes in meteorite. This thing is smooth and, as you can see, of cylindrical shape.
Just a minute. Something's happening. This is terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw. The thing must be hollow.
She's moving! Look, the darn thing's unscrewing!
Be back! I tell you, maybe there's men in there trying to escape.
It's red hot. They'll burn to a cinder.
Keep back there! Keep those idiots back!
She's off! Top's loose! Look out there! Stand back!
This is the most terrifying thing I have ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Something's crawling out of the hollow top. Someone or something. I can see peering out of that black hole 2 luminous discs. Are they eyes? It might be a face. It might be...